Those of you who are here, can you tell me if did I lose you on YouTube? I probably did. Because if I did, I need to not start over, but continue. Shut this off and go back and continue. Okay. I do see a second YouTube. Okay. I think I see it. Yeah. All right. Here. Okay. All right. Thank you. Thank you. I like this software because it does um fix itself. Okay. So now we got two on YouTube. I'm sorry, y'all. This is my computer. All right. Okay, so let's get back to this. So, my point here, more men watch my show than women. They don't respond like women do. We are not emotional like you are, but we are emotional. Yeah, I know, Pitts. You gotta love technology. When it's working, I enjoy it. When it ain't working, it sucks. Okay? All right. So let's get to this. The oh yeah. When it comes to my show, I was telling someone the comparison between my show and other shows that are like mine when it comes to teaching, preaching the gospel, or what have you. When I did the Tabitha Wendy Williams show, 78,000 people showed up. Last week it was 40,000. Now it was up to 78,000 and climbing, 79,000 last time I checked. All right. The people came over there to look for something very salacious. They were looking for tabloidish type stuff. Okay. And so then the next day I decided to teach a Bible study on the gospel of Jesus Christ. And well, many of the same people who came over there to watch what they thought was going to be salacious, they didn't want to hear the gospel. Now, the way I present the gospel is different than many of the others out there who including my brothers. Okay, I consider myself a little more bold. Well, my brothers are bold too, but I'm not as sweet. I'm not as nice. I'm more belligerent in my teaching, which can turn some of the older women off. Good. One of the missionaries walked up to me outside from our denomination, and she said, "Walter, boy, I tell you, I was watching your show, and you know, and I be trying to watch your show, but I can't stomach it. I can't stomach it. So I had to turn it off." I said, "Yeah, you had to go over there to my brother Rodney show, didn't you? You can stomach him, can't? Yeah." And I said, "Good." She's an older woman. She's a missionary, has a high position. But the way I talk, it's not palatable in some of y'all's mouths because it's too hard. It's too hard. And what many people are looking for, especially the women at certain ages, they're looking for a softer. Sears had a new commercial that came out. I think in the 90s, they said that they're getting ready to present the softer side of Sears. So the gospel has been softened up to meet the demand of those who out there who need more of a smooth way of teaching. Patrick Edwards, blessings to you. Good to see you. and I treat men accordingly. You have to know your audience, which means the people you're expressing yourself to. Why does it matter who says I love you first? Oh, it does matter, Williams. It matters. It matters. Believe it or not, it does matter. Because the audience in whom you're speaking to will determine how you speak. The scripture says, know them that labor among you. Yes, Mary Golden. Ooh, come on. Wanda said, I'm 61. I'm sick of milk. And again, that's not to say that my brothers are giving milk, because my brother Rodney is hardcore. I'm harder. All right, I'm harder. And it's not that I don't know how to be softer in some of my answers, just that I have a different characteristic than my brother. Now, Jude gives us the answer to that. All right. The book of Jude gives us the answer to that. This is the purpose of a mother and a father. My mother was the soft one in the house, and my father was the hardcore one. But in your houses, it might have been the mother. In my house, when I was coming up, I was softer than my ex-wife with our children. My children ran to me for me to lick their wounds because my wife beat them. So they ran into my arms. That's the way my house ran. But when I was coming up, my father did the beating and we ran into the arms of mama for her to lick the wounds. But they both were effective. Jude says, keep yourself in love of God, looking for the mercy. And for some have compassion, making a difference. And others save with fear, pulling them out of the fire, hating even the garment spotted by the flesh. That's Jude 21 through 23. So what is he saying here? Someone who's preach or teach like I do might be use more compassion. Bishop Carlos Moody, my former pastor, God rest his soul, he did use a lot of compassion. Me? Well, I have some compassion, but I'm hardcore. Which brings me to today's show. Most people want to be treated passive. That does not work when trying to save. That's it, Reginald. The Bible says he that winneth souls is wise. That word wins means to snatch. 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 Right. I just discovered both you and Bertha Williams. Blessings to you. Thank you. So what we do. Then what me and my brother do is we come together and do a show together, a teaching together. We did one Sunday with a brother, and then we're going to do another one this Sunday at 3:00. But this time we're adding my brother Justin. My brother Justin has another type of teaching style than myself, and my style is different than my brother Rodney. But you're getting 3 different types of styles, but it's the same gospel. One Lord, one faith, one baptism. And the Apostle Paul says that we all supposed to be preaching the same thing. Same thing. Blessed to you, Jimmy Lynn. Thank you. We're supposed to be preaching the same thing, but we're not. So on my brother's post yesterday or day before, he put a post up, and this woman told my brother pretty much, you need to be quiet and stop meddling in other people's business, because he was talking about these cliches that y'all use in church, like decree and declare and things like that. So he just asked a simple question about it, and a woman came forth and she said, you need to mind your own business. Mind your own business. And so she admonished that my brother just preached the gospel. And then she began to post several scriptures. So when I saw it, I countered her. Now my brother's response was, now my sister, my dearest sister. Now you know this is what the scripture says. My brother is very kind, but I'm my brother's Peter. I wasn't in a kind mood. So after his post, I went behind him and says, wait a minute. So I countered her by posting Galatians chapter 2, because she says her point of posting scriptures was to say that we should preach the gospel and leave people alone. So when I posted Galatians 2, I talked about how Peter was rebuked. The Apostle Paul rebuked him in his face and then turned around and rebuked the other apostle. So when I posted that, she countered me, and then she posted Acts chapter 5 and 38. She posted Acts chapter 5 and 38. And my brother ignored it because he's such a kind man. Well, I'm kind, but I'm kinda. So she put, and now I say to you, refrain from these men and let them alone. For if this counsel or this work be of men, it will come to naught. But if it be of God, ye cannot overthrow it, lest happily ye be found even to fight against God. Leave those brothers alone. I said, okay. So I counted her. And how did I counter her? I countered her by telling her to read the rest of what you just posted. So I said, let me post it myself. And then it says, and to him that agreed, and when they had called the apostles and beaten them, they commanded that they should not speak in the name of Jesus. Yeah, Burton, the scripture battle was on. And it reminded me of Jesus and Satan. Not calling this young lady Satan. She's nowhere near that. She and I have a history. We have a history with each other. And I tell you, if she was sick and if I can give a body part to her, I would. Yeah. But when Jesus was battling, it wasn't really a battle, but when he was having a disagreement with Satan, guess what they both were using? And this is why I keep telling y'all, if y'all going to have a scuffle or a fight or a disagreement, what have you, then you need to use what? Not your emotion. Not what you heard your pastor say. Not something through the grapevine. No. Come on, Burton Jr. You need to use the word of God if you're trying to make a point come across. Always use the word of God, because Satan used the word, and then Jesus used the word. And then Satan came back and used the word, and then Jesus came back and used the word. That's how you fight. And so what was Satan doing during that time of fighting? What he was doing was he kept inviting Jesus up to a higher place. Every time Jesus clapped back, then Satan brought him to a higher place. It said it took him up here into a high place. Then it took him here on the mountain. Then it took him here up in a high. And I'm trying to tell y'all, when you get Satan in a corner, he's going to elevate you. He's going to elevate you. A lot of y'all was taught that the devil is initially trying to tear you down. That is not his direct attack towards you. His direct attack towards you is to make things great for you. Make it appear that you have arrived. And that you are an influencer. And that your videos trend all over the place. They trend. A lot of that could be Satan. He doesn't tear you down all the time. That's the end result. The beginning result is to lift you up. That's why he goes after men and women of who have this persuasive power. Right inside, I'm on the 19th floor. He lifts you up so you become apostles and chief and accompanied prophets and Narragansett pastors and rightly divided evangelists. You are going to be lifted up. Why? Because the more power you have, the more influence you have on others. So Satan will try and kill two birds with what? That's right, Elisa. Listen, I'm so glad you're here, Lisa. So glad you're here. Do you understand? So it's the bowling ball effect. One ball rolled down that aisle will hit, depending on how good you are at bowling, will hit all of those pins. Satan is not going after the one pin. It takes too much energy for him to go after the one pin. I mean, he goes after it, but it's too much energy. It's the venomous snake effect. It takes too much power. I mean, too much. It takes too much of his strength and too much of his. Let's see, when you're in the laboratory, you're mixing up all of this stuff to come up with this potion. It's too costly for a snake to produce venom. So when he sees something that seems to be a pest, like a man or a woman, he may at you. He might even bite you, but he doesn't necessarily spit venom in you if he looked to you as a pest. But if he see you as a threat, a dangerous threat to him, then he spits the venom in you to render you helpless and to knock you out. Now he's got to go back and reproduce this venom. Come on, Gardner. The pride in the person. Yes. Y'all preaching. Only living in the truth can expose a matter of manipulation. Yes. It's when, my question is, when Satan attacks and loses, he comes back with 7 more. Did this happen in Jesus? Well, this is what the Gospels were saying about the enemy. All right. And we have to be careful how we analyze the scriptures on how we put it towards a particular person or thing or spirit when the Bible didn't say that. For instance, people say that Satan comes to kill, steal, and destroy. The Bible didn't say that Satan comes to kill, steal, and destroy. As a matter of fact, the analogy that he was using wasn't about Satan directly. It was about your pastor. It was about false teachers. The enemy comes. Okay. Yeah. So the thief comes. Yes. Thank you, Rodney. Elder. The thief. He wasn't talking about Satan. Now, is Satan a part of the thief? Yeah. Oh, absolutely. What is motivating him? But he wasn't talking about that. So the spirit noticed that the house was swept clean. You didn't feel it. You didn't feel it in. You ever walked into an empty house and you clapped your hand or said something loud and then there was an echo in the house? It's because it may not be any furniture in there. You got tall ceilings. Okay. All right. So it's empty. And some of you cleaned up your life, but you didn't refill it with the gospel. And so this thing comes back and bring back 7 more. It's a great analogy. Doesn't use all of his valuable venom to kill you unless he thinks you. That's right. See, Pitts, I'm glad you're here, girl. I'm glad you're here. I'm trying to get to y'all's questions. That's what happened with Paul and Silas. The the women kept saying, "These men of God." That's it. Come on, Brother Jones. That's it. And she kept doing that for a few days, the Bible said, until Paul couldn't take it anymore. And he rebuked her. So when people lift y'all up like that, you don't know who lifting y'all up. I don't get excited when people thank me for the gospel. I do not want to be a popular gospel preacher. That's a problem. If you're preaching the gospel in America, you're not going to be popular. As a matter of fact, there is a bounty on your life. The Bible talks on past tense. Pastor, you said last week, stop reading somebody else's mail. I'm confused tonight. Williams, yeah, you and I need to talk because I've been noticing your questions and I see that you're hungry for answers. So I'm gonna need you to email me so that we could talk and I can get you could ask all the questions you would like, and then I can develop shows around it. But I also want to talk to you directly. I want to talk to you directly. So please, let's talk. Alyssa said, "Don't worry." Yeah, I want to talk. Thank you, Williams. Thank you so much. I would love to talk to you. Woe unto you when all men shall speak well. Come on, Burton Jr. You preaching this gospel, man. You preaching this thing. All right. So be careful not to be so popular. Now, Matthew chapter 10, Jesus says something that goes against this sissy gospel that y'all are bringing. Matthew chapter 10, you may have to go to the 34th verse. The 34th verse. Let's see if I can find it. Yeah. Matthew chapter 10, here's what he says. He talked about everyone who acknowledged me publicly here on earth, I will also acknowledge before my Father in heaven. But everyone who denies me on earth, I will also deny. Don't imagine that I came to bring peace to the earth. I came not to bring peace. What did Jesus come to bring, y'all? Can y'all tell me? What did he come to bring? So what we've done in our churches is that we presented, and we still are presenting Jesus as this cute little cuddly baby in a manger, falling in love with you, romantic Jesus. That's what y'all brought. But he said, I didn't come here for that. Y'all made him that. Now, who's responsible for this? Because he came, that's it, y'all. He came to bring us a sword. So who's responsible? You won't be popular to the masses, not when you are preaching the true gospel. Most don't want to hear. Yeah. Yep. Sugarcoat. So what do we do with this? And who's responsible? Who set up the churches to activate like this? Because in Matthew chapter 10, Jesus said he sent them out 2 by 2. And he told them that you will be flogged in the synagogues. Wait a minute. Pitts, I think you put it up there. I think, Rogers, all right. Find that verse, Matthew 10, where he's talking about, I don't know, where is it? Verse, it might be 18 somewhere. Jesus is saying in Matthew chapter 10, he sent them out 2 by 2. And then he said that you are going to be beaten and whipped for the gospel's sake. But by who? By who? I think it might be in the 18th verse. By who? So, brothers and sisters, like the brother put up their wall to you, who was it? The sister, somebody put up their wall to you, when all men speak well of you. I am attacked by believers for the gospel. Trust me, more so than I am attacked by the world. Why? Because Jesus told the disciples, you will be. And you will be attacked not in your backyard necessarily or at the grocery store. You will be attacked in church. As soon as y'all post it. And you will be attacked by kings and governors. So the world going to attack you regardless. But your brothers and sisters, they're going to attack you. When was this fulfilled? It was fulfilled in Acts chapter 5. When I just read it, the sister put that down there for Elder Rodney Jones in the comment as we were going back and forth. Acts chapter 5, Peter and the other apostles were flogged. Guess where they were flogged? Huh? On my account, you will be brought before governors and kings as witness to them and to the Gentiles. Mobbing for Christ. It's Brother Hips. Hey, just thought I'd stop. Hey, Hips. Blessed to you. We miss you, brother. We miss you. We miss you. Yes. Truth. Yep. Church hurt. Church hurt. And so they had to coin it. Church hurt. Never hear about job hurt. I was in court and the judge hurt. I was at the grocery store, grocery hurt. Post office hurt. No, we coined it. Church hurt. Can y'all tell me why it's called church hurt? Blessed to you, Williams. Hey, man, we got a lot of new watchers here. I give honor to you. I give honor to you. Can y'all tell me why all this church hurt? Help me out. Okay. So now, I want to quote from my dear brother, dear sister. Pitts, one of the issues I'm finding here as it pertains to this gospel of Keys, good to see you. This feminine gospel. Here's one of the problems. The problem is cultural. Sure, Williams. Yeah, that's why I say give me email me so that we can talk. Gifted friends. Wait, you on Facebook? Gifted friends, the number 1 at gmail.com. Gifted friends, the number 1. Gifted friends 1 at gmail.com. Send me a text. David said, because you never expected. Feminized Jesus, to me, that's the type of Jesus that people make up who doesn't take. Come on, Faith. That's my whole point here. So who did this? And who set it up so that the women can continue in it? Oh, I just gave you a hint. Good to see you, Kemp. I just gave you a hint. Yeah, there's my email. Go ahead and send that. Send me something, Williams. The people in the church are hurting people, Gardner says. Yes, they are. They're hurting. Who hurt them? Who hurt them? Because what are they doing Monday through Saturday? So are they hurting just in church? Or are they hurt, period, and they come to church and bring their hurt with them? Can somebody help us analyze this? Because, my show is a psychological show, and I don't have a license. A psychological therapist. I don't have that license. Arthur Stevenson. They missed the little warning signs. Pitt says, hurt people hurt people. Folks want loving, kind, compassionate. Kiss your... Western culture has weakened the American church. That's it. I call it the Farrakhan effect. You see? One reason why more men come to my show than women is because my belligerent way. I rebuke you, and I will rebuke a whole denomination in your face. And I scream and I yell. I raise my voice. I use choice words. I'm very animated. And the men come here. Why? Because they did a study. I didn't realize I was doing that, and I didn't realize more men were watching my shows until I started watching my analytics. I didn't purposely do that to have men come over, but I'm glad more men do watch it. They did a study on how boys learn opposed to how girls learn. I saw this on an ABC special. And it was the school systems are trying to make it. They realized that you putting boys and girls in the same class and teach them the same thing. For years they kept trying to figure out why are the boys not paying attention in class. Why is it that the girls seem smarter than the boys? It doesn't mean that the girls are smarter. It's the tactic on how you're teaching and how you're presenting this plan. So what they started to do was they let the girls sit in their chairs and give them the dolls and give them the things that girls need, and they let the boys roam around. Gave them a basketball. Gave them boy stuff to tear up and beat up and stuff like that. And they had to teach the boys through their experience on how to be boys, how to learn the same lesson that the girls are learning that day, whether it was history or whether it was math or what have you, but they had to teach it to the boys differently, and they realized that it wasn't girls here and boys here anymore, that the boys were coming up like this in their learning behavior. Well, the church, I have discovered, is the same way. This is why the African American church, or the Pentecostal church, I will say have more women in it than men, yes. But go over to the Muslim mosque and you will see a slew full of men in those mosques. Can y'all tell me why? Johnny says he wasn't by himself. Sometimes people are church hurt by those who claim to have positions or authority and use it. Yes. Yes. Those men who go to the prisons and the jails to try and preach a gospel. I'm saying a and not the for a reason. They go to the prisons to preach the gospel, a gospel. A Pentecostal man will go in there and a Muslim man will go in there, and that Muslim man is pulling more men out of that prison than the Pentecostal man. Y'all know why? Can y'all tell me why? I watched some get destroyed in church. Two wanted to commit suicide. Yep. Wanted to kill the pastor. Ooh, wow. The Western church is going to have to toughen up because the church is, we're not going, And he had in his right hand 7 stars. Burden. Rainbow. Yes. Soft. 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 That's the problem. And this is not something that's new. It goes all the way back to the Old Testament. Give us some smooth sayings. What was that king who, when they said, let's bring the prophet in, and what's that prophet that showed up, and the king was like, was that Ahab? He says, I don't like when he never prophesied nothing good to me. Who was that prophet? It started with an M, don't it? He never prophesied anything good. See, he prophesying now. I can't stand him. That's what the American church has been built off of. But when Farrakhan started to teach and preach and start cussing, those men love it. Why? He reached the heart of those brothers. Why? Because a man wants a belligerent, warlike, awesome God. Men typically want a militant God. Y'all understand? Yeah, Mike AI, that guy. Want a militant God. Men go to that. They go to the ball games. They like that hardcore. So they run to it. Whether it's the true gospel or not, they run to it. And the disciples were the same way. They were militant. They wanted to kick the Romans' behinds. They thought that Jesus had set up his kingdom, or getting ready to set up his kingdom. They were, those disciples and the apostles were xenophobes and bigots. To God had to shake Peter up. They said, man, here's some meat. Eat it. I ain't eating that. The word is given different, truly explained. Men, yeah. That's the difference between, yep. King Jehoshaphat said it was, yeah, that's him. We are hardcore, come on, Paige, creatures by nature, so we gravitate to the warrior mentality. Emasculate, yep, come on. I get the hurt people hurt quote. However, hurt people that hurt other people are still guilty of sin. Come on, Faith. See, Faith don't play all that stuff either. Faith don't play that. All right. So that's the problem that's in our churches, and we'll always have this problem is you don't know how to talk to a boy and you don't know how to talk to a girl. You don't know how to train up a boy and you don't know how to train up a girl. I raised my son differently than I did my daughter. When we had Bible study every morning after breakfast, I talked to my son different about that story than I did my daughter. And I gave examples a little softer to my daughter than I did my son. I knew that my son wasn't into all of that Febreze talk. Oh, Dad, with my daughter, I was more like, I love you, baby. Kiss me. I love you. I hugged her. I talked about rainbow colors and blues clues. My son was like, Blue, turn that off. Put something on more. The Super Cats or something. He wanted some Power Rangers. My son was in love with the Power Rangers. And one of the reasons why he was in love with the Power Rangers was because one of the characters' names on the Power Rangers was what? Anybody know? I don't know. Maybe y'all didn't watch the Power Rangers. I was forced to watch it because my son loved it. Guess what one of the names were? And y'all, by the way, I'm a senior and my son is a junior. So that's a hint. Men like application. Women like emotion. Burden, run. Run, Burton. Run. Not Zach. I mean, no. Blue Rain. What was his name? They gave you the name as the credits roll. Anybody know his name? It was the black guy. What was his name? Oh man, I watched him, but don't remember the name. His name was Walter. His name was Walter. My son loved it. Yes, Michelle. His name was Walter Jones. That's it. That's why I say they gave you the name in the credits. His name was Walter Jones. My son loved it, so he felt like he was one of the Power Rangers. I'm gonna go on a limb. All right. So this has become a problem in our churches. So we have feminized Jesus, and then we feminized him and the gospel to the point to whereas our churches look like a woman's parlor. I told y'all this on several occasions that I went to some of these churches and they literally was wrapped in pink. The whole church was wrapped in pink curtains and embroidered with gold and silver here. It was so cute. And the pulpit had the Ark of the Covenant. There was a statue, a replica of the Ark of the Covenant, and a king's chair. When you see that kind of stuff in the pulpit, that's a woman's influence. Even if that's a man's pastor, a woman influenced that. A woman influenced it. So then what happened? In walk praise and worship. In gospel music, it was this for us. It was more warfare songs. It was more, certain chords. The lyrics in our choirs were certain ways. In walk praise and worship. Kiss me, Jesus. Yeah, am I in trouble? Sound like a Juanita Bynum would have a church. Oh yes, trust me. Mike, yeah. Run, Kevin Page. I'm gonna need you to run. Yes. Falling in love with Jesus. Over and over again. Falling in love with over and over and over again. He gets sweeter and sweeter as the day go by. What's the other falling in love with Jesus song? It's not so much in the lyrics as much as it is the prosody behind the song, because the melody is so sweet. I'm in trouble. He's the lover of my soul. These are great songs. I love them. When I'm in my private worship, I play them here in my office. But when I'm in public, I try to stay away from them when I see a bunch of men in the room. When the women are in the room, I'll play those songs. But when the men are in the room, no, I try to go belligerent with my song choice. Good to see you, Beverly. Yeah. In walk CCM. Out walk Demetria. In our Sunday school class, men, women, and children are taught separately. Reginald. And I am not against that whatsoever. Because before the shutdown, our church, the men had separate Sunday school. The women sat over on the other side of the church. The seniors sat on another side of the church, and the kids were upstairs in our educational building. That's what I was used to. And then COVID came, and now it's me and Elder Jackson. We were teaching Sunday school by ourselves until the women came in. All right, we invited them in. And we're so glad we did, because that was hard. Was the best thing that ever happened. Churches do not have. Yeah, I know. Best. Yeah, Jesus was the best thing ever done in his arms. I feel protected in his. All that. Soprano. Yeah, all that. So it's cute. So what do we do? Well, y'all keep crying that there's no men in the church. This is the reason why. This is the reason why. Now, Um, one of the reasons why we get some of these snake oil salesmen called evangelists to come to town, from Peter Popoff to all these other guys you can think of and put in the comment section, they don't die. These men do not die. Who else just popped up? Kern. Somebody just sent me, what's his name? Kearney Thomas. Prophet Kearney Thomas just popped up. This guy. Y'all remember this guy? He just popped up. Miracle Signs and Wonders. Prophet Kearney Thomas. And he's the screaming guy. Ah! That guy. Now, when he come to your town, guess who's going to be the majority of those in the audience? From the Pop-Off to the Kerns to this other brother. Let me find this other brother I was just looking at for. What's his name? Robert Tilden. Guess who gonna show up by the droves? Anybody? Can y'all tell me? Huh? Kemp? Women. Corn? Say women. Y'all help him out, cause I don't watch the W.V. Grant. Yep. Eric say women. Yep. Women. Yep. Women. Ann says the women. Can y'all tell me why mostly women go to those conferences? So-called water. I got my own. Huh? Can y'all tell me why? The ladies are coming out. It will definitely be ladies' night. Yes. All right. Hit me up, Williams. Hit me up. Robert came here a few weeks ago. Ain't nobody thinking about him. Eric says emotional high. Pitt says emotionalism. Beverly says they are easy prey. They're looking for a husband, Irene says. Carter says desperate women, desperate housewives. Now, these are women saying this. Why? Now, Joshua Holmes. Feelings and emotions, Humphrey say. Yes. And the difference between a pimp and these evangelists is about $50. About 50. Take a few dollars for inflation. Yes. This sort are they? Yep. The Bible says silly women will grab a hold to them. Itching ears, old wives' tales. Pimps and these popular evangelists know what a woman wants. What's that comedian? Little short comedian with the straight hair. What's his name? What's that boy's name? He plays a pimp. Williams, what's his name? He said on one of his stand-ups, his house have certain, thank you, Nikki, Cat Williams. His house got everything that his women need. He called them bees. My bees, I like their hair a certain way. They like a certain drink. So he said he stocked his house with all of that stuff because bees like this. And so these preachers come to your town because And they're going to leave the town with their pockets filled with somebody's husband's hard-earned money. Some of the women sneak to go to these places. Never tell their husbands they're going. Because they're looking for something quick and fast. Bernard Jordan, another one. Y'all messing with Larry Reed's pastor there. Desperate divas. So this is why I'm hated by the church. And some of the women can't stomach my kind of teaching. The brothers like it because I tell the truth, but I tell it in a way that they can stomach. So, what is this? Well, one is illiteracy. Illiteracy. Pitts, put that down. Illiteracy. Illiteracy. One of the reasons behind poverty and bad health is illiteracy. And much of this illiteracy is self-inflicted. Number two, it's based off of those who are in headship know you're illiterate. And they keep turning the organ grinder. That example I used last week. They keep turning the grinder. Okay? They keep turning it. And they'll say the same thing for generations, knowing that it's going to work for every generation. And it works on the same person every time. Say these words to that person and you will get something out of them. This is why fake prophets come to your towns and your churches and they know how to read you. Many of these prophets are psychics. They've learned the psychic ways on how to find ways to get stuff out of you. And you think it's the Spirit of God, but no, they use the same tactics that psychics use. And this is why Brian Karn was taking his examples from a witch. I don't care what he says to y'all to try to convince y'all that he didn't watch that witch. But the date stamp on YouTube don't lie. So I went to a church where the brothers was up prophesying to the women. Who lives at 555 Sycamore Avenue? Y'all know I always use that address. That's me, prophet. That's me. That's me. Come on down. The price is right. And then another prophet, let me warn y'all, never go to a church where it's filled with a bunch of prophets. Because all of them got to prophesy. And they're going to prophesy on one person. Several of them are going to prophesy on one person. By the time that person leave there, she or he won't remember what none of them said. Because it's so many things that they all said. And sometimes they said the antithesis of what the other one said. So after this service, I was at home and one of the prophets called me for something. And then he said, how did you think about service tonight? I said it was interesting. He said, oh, yeah. He said, he's considered himself a prophet. He said, yeah, man, you notice how Prophet Johnson was prophesying that girl about telling her? I said, yeah, I noticed that. He said, now he's using the so-and-so, he didn't say tactic, but he says system or something. He using the so-and-so system, but I use the so-and-so system. I said, wait a minute. Are you kidding me, right? Yeah, David E. Taylor. That's another one. The Black Benny here. Yeah. He's using so-and-so. I stopped him. I said, are you trying to tell me that you prophets got a system? I said, I can see if Y'all were psychologists. And when you go to school, you study up under certain famous authors and psychologists who gave us the breakthroughs in mental health. So you may use a tactic of Freud, or you might use Williamson's tactic. Okay, what have you? That's different. But when you bring that into the spiritual realm and you're using other men's tactics and schemes to prophesy to somebody, that's witchcraft. An action or strategy carefully planned to achieve. Come on, Pitts. Yeah. I use a poker face with so-called uh-huh. Come on, Williams. Mm-hmm. It's bad. Don't take my word. Read your word and get understanding and clarity for yourself. Deborah House, come on. Yeah. The foolery. Straight up people. Tactics. So, what is that? Illiteracy. Now, that's both male and female. But because these churches are overflown and these prophetic conferences and these evangelists who come to town and it's full of women and they get over on these women, it's due to illiteracy. Do y'all understand? The next one. This is I like what Pitt said in one of her shows. She says it's between these things. One is psychological manipulation. Psychological manipulation. Can somebody tell me in the comment section what is that? Psychological manipulation. Uh-huh. Standards of yes. Switch your notions. How you doing, by the way? Mm-hmm. Reginald the prayer cloth came back. They borrowed it from our Caucasian brothers and sisters. The Nollywood and Bollywood Christian movies, they make it plain. Oh wow. Gardner, you've been preaching tonight. You've been on fire. Blueprint for a business plan of the church. Woo! David Weaver. DW, you're going hard. Eric says brainwashing. That's it. Too many conferences, too many convocations, too many revivals. And I did a show called, what did I call it, Amber Rogers? A conference whores? I don't think I called the show you conference whores, but I was talking about Juanita Bynum and the Pantygate. I think that's the one, the Pantygate. And I called it, I said that y'all were, women were running to these, y'all were conference whores. Mm-hmm. The three types of prophetic systems are called the critical system, the Protestant system, and the futurist system. And there you have it. It's a form of hypnosis. Okay, now, that's number 2, Pitt says. Literacy is 1. Number 2, psychological manipulation. Number 3, laziness. Laziness. You're lazy. You're lazy from doing what? It's a great list. Pitts is a great list. Laziness. Of what? All right, as y'all putting that in the comments, let's go to the next one. The next one is sensationalism. Sensationalism. Can y'all tell me what that is? That's really should be almost at the top. But you have to put, I think it's great that it's in the middle because it's almost like a nucleus. All this stuff is around it. Well, no, sensationalism is the color. It's the color. It's our churches are Barnum and Bailey circus. Our churches are like a circus. And so if you have never been to a circus, I have, and the sensationalism of what the tigers are doing and what the elephants are capable of doing. And the monkeys. and the lions and the clowns. And all of this is happening under the guise and the ruler of one person. And what's his name? Can y'all put in the comments section? What is his name or his title at the circus? One guy. Thank you, Robin. He is the ringmaster. And in your church, many of you have a ringmaster. And he's got a whip. Yes. Psychological manipulation is a type of social influence that aims to change the behavior or perception of others through indirect, that's a good word, indirect, deceptive, or underhanded tactics. Yes, that's a great definition, Elder Jerome. Using exciting stories or examples to attract their attention. Good to see you, Marlon McDaniels. Blessings to you, man. I always love that brother. What a real brother. As a psychologist myself, individuals will use the tactic to attack the mind. Woo, I'm glad you're here. Of all people, I'm glad you are here. Fame, excitement. It's horrible that Christian principles are not important in most churches. Yep. Let's excite the people. Yes. All right. The next one. Illusory truth. Illusory truth. Big word. Big phrase. Can y'all tell me what that is? Illusory. Now we're still at the circus, or we're at David Blaine's concert. Who's that other guy? And Penn and Teller and this other guy. Illusory truth. What is that? Jackie said, creating an illusion. Eric says, the show. That's good, Eric. That's pretty good. The illusion of truth. David Copperfield. Thank you. I'm like, he was on the side of my head. Yes, not true. Illusion. Smoke and mirrors. Yes. Hey, DM. Diane, good to see you, girl. Yep. Illusory truth. I got two more. Cognitive dissonance. This one right here is extremely popular. What is cognitive dissonance? Can y'all tell me what that is? What is that? The illusory truth effect, also known as illusory of truth, describes how when we hear the same false information repeated again and again, we often come to a belief it is true. Troubling. This even happens when people should know better. Oh man, Elder, you here, man. Fire is coming out of your nostrils. And you usually know that. Come on, man. That's some. That blessed me. Yeah, Chris Angel. Him. My church ringmaster could not attack my mind. I would not surrender to him. I call him out. Ooh, Beverly. Yeah. Refusing to believe the truth even when it's right there in front of you because you've been brainwashed. Corn Phillips. Inconsistent thoughts, beliefs. That's good. How you see yourself is different than how others see y'all. Ooh, to the wee. Wrongfully relating an act with a feeling. Cognitive dissonance. And we have this a lot when I go live. When the ones who attack me, I know exactly what's happening. Even when I bring the gospel truth to them, nope. That's not what I see. I see it, but that's not what I see. Who are you gonna believe? You or my lying eyes? Disconnected. Means a person and tell part of the truth, but fabricate to deceive the mind to another stage. In other words, they sometimes or something unreal. See, I gotta listen to D. Williams because bona fide. Bona fide. Yeah, the lion eyes effect. Y'all cutting up, all right? Here's the last one. Entertainment is the last one. Entertainment, y'all. Entertainment. That's self-explanatory. So, what happened to the church? Illiteracy, psychological manipulation, laziness, sensationalism, illusory truth, cognitive dissonance, and entertainment. That's the problem. And if we could address that and find a way to talk about it, we can heal people and help them heal. Because y'all know that psychology is taboo in the church, right? It has always been. The churches are getting better. Thank you, Clock Keeper. I see you. The churches are getting better with mental illness and discussion, but still the white churches got us beat on that. We still don't want to talk about this. All right? So we need to talk about psychological help in our churches. This is the problem. The church been running the sideshow for a minute, though it gets butts in the seats. Man. A huge misleading too is repeating over and over. No one is perfect. Yet when script, yes, the repeating over and over again. That is a brilliant cultic practice. Is to say something and repeat it over and over again. That's how you learn stuff. They say how many times? Some say 7 times. Some say 21 times. You know, it depends on which psychologist you're talking to. Okay. Say if you repeat something 21 times, it becomes a part of your psyche, your memory, your bank. Okay, it becomes a part of you. And so in church, it works the same way. And in the gospel and in Christendom, it works the same way, even for the good. The Lord wants you to say certain words and confess certain things. Speak it out. Say to yourself that you are healed. See, it works on the good, but we've taken that good concept and made it evil. And then we took the scriptures that says, speak those things that be not, and we took that out of context. And God says, no, you can speak it all you want to, but I'm the one that's doing that. God says, I speak those things, the things that were not, and I bring them into view. So we're misleading people. It's witchcraft. God is watching. That's what they consider psychology. They consider it witchcraft. And the problem with that is that if I'm sick up here, guess what else is going to be sick? The founder of the Church of God in Christ, Bishop C.H. Mason, would be praying. There's old tapes you can get of him. You can hear of him praying on YouTube. And he would pray over his mind. God, heal my mind, heal my mind, heal my mind. There's stories, there's talk about why he would do that, and some say that there was some mental stuff that was going on in him. I have a book. I'll talk about that at some point. But he would rebuke the devil of his mind. If the mind is sick, it will eventually affect the physical. Come on, Switch. I just love your name. If we don't fix the inside of the mind, we'll keep going around. Yep. Children of Israel did it. Yeah. Pitts, preach this. Watered down. Most people think waterboarding is drowning someone, but it is one drop hitting you at a time over and David Weaver. Ooh. Russell, blessings to you. Joe Hill is here, y'all. It's time to shut it down. All right. I think I have a question of the day, and then let me shut it down. I've had pastors laugh at me for bringing my Bible dictionary and sources to Bible study. I tell them I bring my tools. Ooh, D. Williams. Lord. The question of the day, someone asked me to explain Romans 5 and 12. Could someone put that there? Pitts, are you there? Romans 5 and 12. Romans 5 and 12. Explain that, and then we can go home, y'all. Well, y'all are already home, but you can shut your eyes. I better hurry up because I got 7% battery on. If it's shut off, we'll have to do it tomorrow. It might be easier to read it. Let me type it in here on the Google sphere. Romans 5 and 12. Where are we? Romans 5. When Adam sinned, this is out of new NLT. When Adam sinned into the world, Adam's sin brought death. So death spread to everyone, for everyone sinned. Oh, wow. That's a good one. Blessings to you from Brooklyn. Yeah. So everyone sinned. Well, one of the explanations to this is to go to always have a habit of going to the beginning of a text, which will help us understand it. Are you still what? Why am I the only one on this chat? No, everybody's here. Everybody's still here. Hey Joe, good to see you. Is to go to the beginning. And what is the first word in Romans chapter 5? What is the first word in Romans chapter 5? Can somebody tell me what that word is? That word tells me something. As soon as someone put it, that word tells me something. Because what Paul does is a wonderful tactic of building a blueprint. That's it, Jackie. Therefore. Y'all are saying it, therefore. So, therefore means what? He started the whole chapter with that. So what does that mean? Can y'all tell me? Well, you Bible scholars out there. What does that mean? Someone help me with that. What does it mean? And I know what the comments are coming in slow. In light of what? There you go, Burton. Yes. In light of what came before, or based off of what I just said. Yes. For that reason, consequently. Russell says, therefore. So you don't start at chapter 5 and skip that and go into the middle and try and figure things out. You gotta go before the therefore. Yes. That means what Paul said in Romans chapter 4 may give you the answer to Romans chapter 5 verse 12. And when you look at it, it does. It does. But then you got to keep reading, because what Paul did was give you a side note. He said something bold. Let me tell you this bold thing he said. Yes, Michelle, something happened before that. Let me tell you this bold thing that he said. Romans, he says, verse 13, he says, yes, people sinned even before the law was given, but it was not counted as sin because there was not yet any law to break. He's saying that everybody who was born after Adam up to Moses, they sinned, but it wasn't even counted as sin. So it was like they didn't sin because there was no law to attach this sin to so that you could kill it. See, the law supposed to kill something or deter. The law either kills or deters something or prevents something. So you have the law here and you have sin, and when sin sees the law, it must react to the law. This is too deep. I'm gonna have to do another one. Because he brought it up in Romans chapter 7 brilliantly. Romans is the greatest writing that in world history. Romans is the greatest writing known to man. Okay? So what he's saying here, that Adam attached something to all of us. And what is that? We always talk about the imputing of righteousness to Abraham. God imputed, or he counted Abraham righteous. But what about everybody who came before Abraham? Well, God imputed sin on everybody before Abraham. Why? Because we came from a physical man by the name of Adam. Come on, Eric. That's it. I really want to unpack this, but it's too much. So our sin came through imputation because of Adam's sin. So we earned Adam's penalty of death. We earned it. So 2 words pop up: condemnation, justification. Paul brilliantly then helps y'all out. He says, now there is therefore no what? I'm telling you, this is the greatest writing. This is the greatest writing. The greatest writing. There is therefore now no what? So condemnation is Adam. Justification is Jesus. Even David sinned before he became king. Yeah, he did. All have sinned. Gardner. All. So, this was an act for an act. If Adam had not acted, Jesus would not have needed to act. So an act for an act. So for Adam's action, there was an opposite and equal reaction. And what was that action? Adam's action was sin. Jesus' reaction had to be redemption. Adam's action, because of sin, was death. Jesus' reaction because of Adam's death was death and what? This is too much. This is too much. Too much. Forgive me, Father, for I am a sinner and I will sin again. Yes. It's the greatest writing. I took a photo of the chat to show you how it is showing on my phone, just to inform you what's going on. Oh, Reginald? That's weird because I see y'all in the it's 102 on Facebook. I'm sorry, on YouTube right now. So I see all of you in the chat. So that's weird. I have about 50 of y'all combined with Facebook. All right. Sarah and Abraham's sin took place there as well, but God still blessed them with a child. Come on, Williams. Jackie said too much. So are we all saved? Yes. Through who? Through who? Are you automatically saved? No. So how do you become? Your money is in the bank. How do you get it? Somebody made a deposit for you. How do you get it? Somebody tell me, how do I get that money? Clarence says faith in Jesus. And I have to make a withdrawal. I got to go. I'm about to get shut off. My computer's about to shut off. I love y'all. All right. Take care. Bye-bye. I got 2%. Let's do this tomorrow. All right. I love y'all. Hit the share button. Subscribe. Do something. Bye.
Goodbye. 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 Enjoy yourself. Bye. Goodbye. 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 Bye. Well, goodbye. 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 Goodbye.
It's 10 p.m. Do you know where your children are?